Thank you so much, everybody, for taking some time out of your night tonight to come and learn about sailing the U.S. rivers with American Cruise Line. I'm Ryan Joy, a travel agent with Creating Magic Vacations, and I am just so excited for people to learn about this vacation opportunity that I don't really think a lot of people know about. I think it's one of a hidden gem in our own country, our own backyard, no passports required type of deal, and a really nice vacation. So everybody that I have ever put on an American cruise line sailing has immediately rebooked another cruise with them. So that speaks to the quality of the cruise itself and what they do. And tonight we have Cindy Christian from American Cruise Line who is going to tell us all about the company and the offerings and get us all really excited about sailing the U.S. rivers with American Cruise Line. So, with that, I'm going to hand it over to Cindy. And Cindy, go right ahead. Thank you.
I'm Cindy Kristen. I'm with American Cruise Lines, and I want to share America's stories on the finest American ships here, right out in the good old USA. So I'm going to start off just telling you a little bit of background about our company. We are family owned. We've been around over 50 years, and we're very fortunate that in addition to owning the cruise line, they also own the shipyard that we build all of our ships, which is located in Salisbury, Maryland at the Chesapeake Shipbuilding Yard. And a great feature of our product is that 90% of Americans can actually drive to our ports. And so it's a good opportunity. If you don't like to fly, you can easily drive to these ports and get on the ships. We are American, so all of our ships are required to be built here in the U.S. They are all U.S. flagged, and they're 100% U.S. crewed as well. So that means when you step on board, you're going to get a true all-American experience. And what we're continuing to do here at American is build these small ships, which we continue to elevate the domestic ship experience. So these are all small ships I'm going to show you today that are all under 200 guests.
Welcome to American Cruise Lines. I'm Charlie Robertson, President and CEO. We are thrilled to have you here and make you part of our mission to share America's story on the finest American ships. American Cruise Lines has a 50-year history, and its roots go back even further than that. My parents started American Cruise Lines after cobbling together a business with one small excursion boat on the Connecticut River. They built the first American Cruise Line ship on a bare patch of land in Maine. It was a tiny boat, even compared to our smallest ships now, but it got them started. By the late 70s, they found a shipyard that had been abandoned since World War II in Salisbury, Maryland, where they could keep it all growing. That's now the site of Chesapeake Shipbuilding, where we still build all the American Cruise Line's boats today. What started as an East Coast operation grew haphazardly, but by 2000 we started to find our rhythm. I was a little kid running around the boats back then and worked summers as a deckhand trying to build time for a license. As we grew, we expanded west and began introducing our American Riverboat series, the first modern riverboats in the Americas. Their contemporary design and unprecedented spaciousness made them an immediate hit with our guests. We now operate the largest fleet of U.S. cruise vessels and have the only all-American fleet of ships. Next up, we're going back to our roots with a new class of ships for the East Coast. And the first one will be named American Eagle, after our first ship in 1972. The new boats have a catamaran bow that offers a stable platform with a shallow draft for an unprecedented ability to explore. Our history of figuring it out ourselves is still how we do it today, and it's why we are different than most. By focusing on our mission and staying optimistic and committed, we can carry our long history forward together.
We're in a very rapid growth right now. This is one of our ships that you see in the shipyard. This is one of our catamarans that we have built 4 of these in the last 2 years. We're building purposely built ships for these different types of waterways, which we literally have hundreds of waterways in the United States. This is a great feature, very beneficial for us, of course, to have the shipyard And we're coming up with so many different types of ships, unique types of ships. And again, they're all very small. They're all under 200 guests. So just a closer look at the ships. We have several different kinds, as you can see. We have 6 different types of ships. The first ones are the Patriot class. These are going to be new ships for us. We're going to have 2 of these out this year, the Patriot and the Pioneer. And then next year, the Ranger and the Maverick. And these will be on the East Coast. They're 130 guests, and they are built with a Rolls-Royce stabilizer, which is going to allow us to cruise further away from the coastline. So this will also bring us into some new ports of call. Next, we have the Coastal Cats. We have 4 of these. We have the Eagle and the Glory, which were our first 2 builds, and those were named after the 2 original ships from the company, the 2 namesakes. We have the Liberty and the Legend. These 4 Coastal Cats are all along the coastline here on the East Coast. Right now, we have actually 2 of them doing the Florida Keys from St. Petersburg, and we have one of them doing our Southeast Seas Island itinerary, and then one of them doing the Great Rivers of Florida before they head back up in the summertime, spring and summer, up into the East Coast. Next, we have the Constellation class. These are our larger coastals, and we use these 2 for our Alaska programs. They're 170 guests. We also do the Puget Sound and San Juan Islands with these as well. Then we have our smaller Independence class. We have 3 of these, 2 that are on the West Coast. On the East Coast, and 1 out doing the Puget Sound and San Juan Islands. And next we have the paddle wheelers. These are what you typically think of when you think of river cruising in the United States. And we do have 2 on the Mississippi, and we have 2 on the Columbian Snake. These run in size from the smallest is 100, the largest is 180. And then we have our American river boats. These are our modern river boats, which right now we have 6 of them, 3 on the Columbian Snake and 3 on the Mississippi. We have 1 coming next year, the American Encore. It will be placed on the Columbian Snake, and we have 2 more that we're going to build for the Columbian Snake. And these are very nice. They are 100% balconies, and we have an actual, if we're not able to dock these ships, we can actually pull into the embankment of the river, and we can take out the drawbridge and embark and disembark this way. They're very nice ships, very unique. Of course, we do the Mississippi. You can do the lower Mississippi from New Orleans up to Memphis, or reverse, or the upper from St. Louis to Minneapolis. You can do the entire Mississippi, 14 or 21 nights. We also do the tributaries of the Mississippi. So that's the Ohio River from St. Louis to Pittsburgh. We also do the Tennessee River, Chattanooga to Nashville. And then we also do a nice Music City cruise that goes from Nashville to Memphis. And that one touches on the Cumberland River, the Ohio River, and the Mississippi River. And then moving out to the Pacific Northwest, we do the beautiful Columbian Snake out of Portland, Oregon to Clarkston, Washington, or reverse. And then we do all down the coastline, Maine, New England, the Hudson, Chesapeake Bay. We do the Southeast Seas, which is a nice historic South itinerary. We also do the Florida Keys out of St. Pete. We do the Great Rivers of Florida out of Jacksonville. And then moving out to the west, we've got the beautiful Puget Sound, San Juan Islands. And then we also do several programs in Alaska. We also have the options of doing the national parks with some of our itineraries. We do the national parks with our Columbian Snake. So you can do Yellowstone, Grand Tetons, and Glacier National Park. We have the option to do the Great Smoky Mountains on our Tennessee River program. And then on Alaska, we have the option of doing the Denali and Kenai Fjords with our Alaska programs. So it's a really great combination to do these together. So I'm going to highlight a few itineraries. We actually have over 50 itineraries. I like this one here, the American Revolution, which we do out of Washington, D.C. on an 11-day, 10-night program. When we started going back into Washington, we were out of Baltimore for many years doing this program, but we started going into Washington, D.C. a couple years ago, and it was actually the first time there had been a passenger ship there in the Washington, D.C. port in over 70 years. It's a great little itinerary, and next year our country will be celebrating our 250th birthday. So this would be a great itinerary to experience. And we do offer in the fall as well as during cherry blossom time. We also have our main coast and harbors. We have been doing this program for several years, but we changed it up a little bit for this year. Instead of going round trip Portland, Maine, we go directionally Portland, Maine to Bangor or reverse. And we're doing this on several of our small coastal ships. This is that Southeast Seas island itinerary I've mentioned a few times. It's a beautiful itinerary along the intercoastal. You can start either in Charleston or Amelia Island. So we stop in St. Simons and Jekyll Island and Hilton Head and Savannah, Beaufort. There's tremendous amount of history on this route as well. And this is in operation right now at this time of year. Then there's that Florida Gulf Coast and Keys. This is our second year doing this program out of St. Pete. It's a real winner. We sells out very quickly. Next year, or this year, should I say, we will have 4 ships doing this itinerary. So there'll be more opportunity. You can see, you can go down to the Keys. You have the option to go over to the Dry Tortugas with one of our tours, or there is a ferry that goes over there from Key West as well. This one is new for us this year, the Potomac River and the Chesapeake Bay, going Washington, D.C. to Baltimore. We're already selling a lot of this right now, this program too. Then we
that wasn't your ship, right, Cindy?
No, that wasn't my ship. No, that looked like, I don't know, Columbus's ship or somebody else. Probably see that ship, but it's in port. Next, we have our Mississippi Explorer. Now, we do a lot of Mississippi itineraries, and people tend to think, oh, it's a Mississippi. Mississippi has amazing things to see on the Mississippi. There's a lot of action going along the Mississippi. There's a lot of commerce going back and forth. There's tremendous amount of history on the Mississippi. There's really great history lesson with the Civil War. It's also very music themed. This itinerary is a new version of the Mississippi for us this year. It's gives you a little bit longer version. Still goes New Orleans to Memphis, but some of the great spots you're going to see, of course, the Hummus House, This is one of the antebellum homes. We have also Baton Rouge. You'll get to spend overnight there. There's lots of great stuff to see there, as well as in Natchez, St. Francisville, Vicksburg, where the Military National Park is. So this is, if you're a history buff, you will absolutely love this. I always say the Mississippi is really underrated and over delivers. It really is a great program. So usually when people start the first river cruise, they're usually doing the lower Mississippi, similar to itinerary to this. So let's step on board here and see across our fleet, we have very comfortable accommodations. We're American, we like everything big. So we do have big houses, big cars. So we have big staterooms. They're very spacious, very comfortable. This photo actually is from the modern riverboat, and you could see the nice balconies out there as well too. On average, our stateroom sizes are 325 square feet. This photo here is actually one of the suites. It's almost like two rooms, staterooms. One of our lounges, we have several lounges on the ships. They're very nice as well. We do entertainment in here in the evening and our cocktail parties. Also, we're here in the dining room. The dining room too, we can accommodate all of our guests at one time. What we have is open seating dining. That means you come into the dining room, you can sit with whomever you like. It is an open seating dining time. So maybe dinner starts at 6 o'clock to 8:30. You just need to be in the dining room sometime during that time to be served. You don't have to be there when the dining room doors open, so you can just relax. And again, it's very casual. So we have great food for you. That's part of the experience. We have lots of choices for your entree, very nice size portions. And we bring on the fresh meats and fish and fruits, vegetables every single day. Really delicious food. And we also try to do the local fare as well, too. So if you're on the lower Mississippi, you're going to get some of that Creole food, and it's great. This is our cafe that we have on most of our ships. We have a second dining option. This is, as you can see, you can dine outside on the deck there. We do have like sandwiches, hamburgers, hot dogs, ice cream, pizza, that kind of food if you didn't want to eat in the dining room. We do also have entertainment every single day. In the evening, after dinner, you'll come into the lounge. We have entertainment, local performers, dancers, musicians, comedians, very good entertainment. We also have our onboard historians, and this is very important because a river cruise is more than a cruise. It is really a history lesson. It's a very cultural experience. There's more to it. Of course, we're stopping. They're very destination-focused programs, and we're going to learn about the history of these areas because everywhere we stop has some significance in history, and we bring it to light. And the historians, of course, they're going to really bring these destinations to life for our guests. So if you're on the Columbian Snake, you're going to hear a lot about the Lewis and Clark journey. If you're on the lower Mississippi, you're going to hear a lot about the Civil War, the upper Mississippi, Mark Twain, and so forth. So it doesn't matter where we are, there's history. And our historians are really fabulous. They're part of the whole experience. Just another peek at one of the nice lounges, comfortable lounges on board. We do not have swimming pools on our ship. What we have on the top deck here, as you can see, we have a nice walking path. We also have lots of areas for you to relax and watch the scenery. We always have putt golf, and we also have shuffleboard. So what we include in our programs, we do include top shelf liquor, our cocktails. We have wonderful locally sourced cuisine. We have the onboard entertainment and the lectures. Most all of our ships also have the self-service laundry on them too, which is great. Especially if you're going to be on one of the longer cruises. We have a library with computer station, and we do also have Wi-Fi. Now, every day, of course, we have different tours that we offer. When we take the guests out on the tours, we have our own motor coaches. You can see they're nice, brand new motor coaches, very spacious. and they actually follow the ship and they take our guests out on the tours. Most of the programs, we can use these motor coaches. There will be some that we cannot. For instance, if we're doing the New England Isles and we're in Martha's Vineyard or Block Island or some of these, we're not going to be allowed to use these motor coaches. So we have to use whatever the local transportation is there. But where we can, we use these, and they're really nice as well. On our programs, we've separated them out. We have our river cruise programs and we have our coastal programs. On the river cruise programs, we always package in every day a featured tour. These are hosted by local guides. If you're on a coastal program, let's say you're doing one of our New England itineraries, we may include some featured tours, but not every day. So that's when the premium tours will come in place, and you can purchase those. They run up to $95. You can book those 60 days in advance. Then we also have signature tours. These must be booked ahead of time and they vary in price. So some of our signature tours would be like if you wanted to do the jet boat tour through Hell's Canyon and the deep gorge there on the Snake River. And of course, I highly recommend that because it's a huge highlight for our guests. Those are the three different levels of tours. So what do we have in tours? We have lots of great stuff. We have, of course, a lot of history and cultural tours, but we also have biking, hiking, kayaking. As you see there, we have segways, ATVs, we have brewery tours, distillery tours, swamp tours, cemetery tours, cooking classes, and on. We have all kinds of stuff. We really have tried to search and find the most interesting and fun things to learn and experience in all of these beautiful places that we go throughout our country. Okay, so we offer complimentary pre-cruise packages. What that is it's a one-night hotel stay centrally located and a transfer to the ship. Now, we always include this for our river programs, the Columbia and Snake, all of our Mississippi River itineraries, also our Alaska program. Out of Juneau, we always include the pre-cruise hotel stay. We also do include it on a couple of our coastal programs too, like the Southeast Seas program on that Historic South program. And I know that we do offer it on a couple of our other coastal. And sometimes as a promotion, we'll do the one-night stay. But even if we don't do a one-night stay, I always recommend you do come in the night before. And of course, Ryan is going to suggest that to you as well, because our ships always leave at 1:30. So we don't want to mess around that you're not there and able to be on the ship the next day. So just come in early, relax, and be ready for the next day of getting on the ship. We do sell domestic airfare too, and the airfare is very reasonable. We charge $4.95 for all of our programs except Alaska, which is $7.95, and that is economy air. We can quote you for first class air, but these prices are very reasonable. Sometimes we do offer free airfare if we have a promotion out there, and maybe we do have something for one of the programs you're looking for, but it's good to buy the air with us if you can, because we have the best pricing.
Is that round trip?
Yes, round trip.
You said $4.95 round trip.
$4.95 round trip, all of them except Alaska, which is $7.95. Yeah. Because I know we're here in Florida, but if you were to go out on the Columbian Snake, that's probably about a $900 airline ticket. Yeah. All the air is very expensive now. So we are absorbing some of that cost. So you'd want to book that through us. So we do stay strictly here in the United States. We don't leave the US waterways. I just want to mention, like on Alaska, that itinerary. I know a lot of people love to do Alaska. We do a great job in Alaska. We've got the 2 small ships that are 170 guests, and we're able to go to the ports where the big ships cannot go. We can do both the national parks together, and nobody else is able to do that. Since we are American, we don't have to leave the United States. So that part is all taken care of. And then our tour guides are naturalists. So our guests really do get to see the marine and wildlife. So if that's something you're maybe thinking of, Alaska, we do it in an amazing way that you really get the true Alaska experience. So with that said, I want to just tell you about my sister company real quickly. Our sister company is Pearl Seas, same owners. It's a 1 coastal ship of 200 guests. And the difference with Pearl versus American is that she is allowed to leave the United States. So she's considered international with an international flag and mostly international crew. And so what Pearl does very nicely is she goes from the US into Canada. So we've got programs like the Canadian Maritimes and the St. Lawrence Seaway that we do out of Portland, Maine to Toronto. We also do a beautiful Canada and New England fall foliage program out of Quebec to Portland, Maine. We also, very popular in the summertime, we're doing the 11-night Great Lakes and Georgian Bay. And you'll notice that we do stop in Mackinac Island, as well as we visit the Niagara Falls. And we do have a shorter version of that too. These are very popular, all of Pearl's itineraries, because they're very much one of a kind. We also have this one here, the Great Lakes Explorer, that we started. That's from Toronto to Duluth. And then we do the St. Lawrence Seaway and the Great Lakes combined, Quebec to Milwaukee. So these are some great options if you're interested in seeing these beautiful areas in Canada. In this presentation tonight, I want to thank you again for being here and working with us, staying with us through the technical difficulties. And I apologize the sound wasn't working on the videos. But we do have a great show special for you this evening. It is $600 per cabin. That's a discount. This is valid on any sailing that you choose. If there's already a promotion on that particular itinerary, we do not allow you to combine another offer with it. You would want to take whatever is the best offer. Either way, you would get something. You just got to book by February 19th. In order to take advantage of this nice show special. Of course, you're going to need to call up Ryan. I'm sure he'll follow up with you and make sure that if you're interested in something that you can take advantage of this offer. So I want to end it with our drive is to share America's story on the finest American ships, and it has made us and will keep us America's leading cruise line. Ryan, have I got any questions?
I know I have some, and if people can go ahead and put questions in the chat box. One of the things right off the bat is I know all the ships, they're small ships, like you mentioned, 200 people, 150 people. And I was wondering, when you hear small ships, people immediately think that they might need a seatbelt to go to sleep. Is that the case with these type of ships and these itineraries?
No, you saw the pictures of the staterooms. These are very large staterooms, and this is across the fleet. Our ship's average stateroom, 325 square feet. Even the single staterooms, which we have on all the ships, they're on average 250 square feet. They are priced at single rates as well. These are very spacious ships, so lots of room, very comfortable. So no tight quarters on these.
What is the most popular itinerary for first-time river cruisers?
I say that it is the lower Mississippi, which is that New Orleans, Memphis, or reverse. It's a great itinerary. Of course, it is a 7-night cruise, and then you'll get 1 night free hotel stay with that. And then remember, we packaged in a featured tour every day. We've also packaged in your gratuities on board, as well as all top shelf liquor, your Wi-Fi. That one is a good place to start and get the feel of it. You're going to love it. I think personally, it's a very humbling experience traveling with us because there is so much history in these areas, and it's fun to learn it this way and to see it and experience it. The Lower Mississippi is a great place to start. And then probably after you've done that one, you'll sign up on board for another one. And you'll probably do the Columbian Snake after that, which is also just spectacular. Honestly, all of the programs are fantastic. We have people, our Eagle Society is our past passenger program. We have people that have done 30 or more cruises. And I know they're doing some of them a couple times or more. But it's such a comfortable atmosphere on board. It's very laid back. It's not pretentious or intimidating. The dress is country club casual. There's no language barrier. We have great food, great entertainment. It's just a great way to see the United States.
And what ages are welcome on? Is it all ages, or is it catered to a certain demographic?
Yes, so our demographics are 65 plus traveled. A lot of them haven't seen their own country. They probably traveled to Europe, but we don't have any age restrictions. So we don't get a lot of children, but we do get sometimes some of that skip generation, the grandparents with the grandchildren. Of course, it's a great history lesson for them, and they're the star of the ship that week. If they're on there, they like that. Our crew on board is all very young, but these are still very active programs. There's still a lot going on. You can be as active as you wish. Remember, these ships, most often we're docking right inside the towns. You get off the ships. There we have the local guides that do the tours. You get the time to spend in the towns. It's just a great way to experience the USA.
I do want to make sure that people, because I feel like some of the inclusions we've said somewhat in passing almost. The gratuity is included. I think you just mentioned, right, in the in the price that you pay, as well as you get those featured excursions. Those are also included. Of course, like any cruise, the food and that kind of things like that, and transportation among these various cities in the US where you're usually driving or whatever. But the big one is gratuities are included, the drinks are included at least at certain times, right? And the excursions.
Yeah. Okay. So we package in for everybody will get Wi-Fi, the gratuities on board, all top shelf liquor, and then featured tours, which we always do on the river product in Alaska. We do include a featured tour every day hosted by a local guide. On the coastal programs, the other coastals, we may include some featured tours, but not every day. That's why we have the next level of tours. Our tours are not overpriced tours. These are excellent tours. There's tremendous value overall in the product because there is a lot of inclusions in the programs. It's, again, it's a worthwhile vacation. And I think once you go, you get a bit hooked on that. Personally, I've done the big ships many times, and I really just love coming back to the small ships. It's just such a different experience overall. You see that the guests, you'll get to know other people on board the ship. Everybody's very relaxed. Everybody's happy. Everybody's well fed, and they're just having a great time. It's definitely worth trying out.
Any other questions from the group here? I know you had mentioned when the one question about the most popular itinerary came in that the lower Mississippi first and then usually the Columbian Snake. That's exactly what I've had so far with the people that have booked these vacations with me. That's what they've done. They've done the lower Mississippi and then they did the Columbian Snake next. So.
Yeah, I think people are always curious about the lower Mississippi. A lot of people have never been to that area. And again, there's so much history there.
And so here's one. How far in advance do you recommend that people book?
Okay, I was just thinking of telling you, these are small ships. They're all under 200 guests. And we're pretty much the only company doing the United States like this. Those little catamarans and those coastals, they're 100 or 130. We sell to the US market. We're also selling to Australia and New Zealand and the UK, all English markets. And the demand is getting more and more. That's why right now we can't keep up with the number of ships that we need for the demand that we have. So you really have to book as far out as you can, especially if you're single and you want a single cabin. You need to get it as far in advance, grab it as you can, because they're limited on the ships. But everything in the summertime, all those coastal up in New England and Maine, they sell out. We do the fall foliage on the Hudson, and now we do the Hudson in the summertime too. These are so popular. They go from New York up to Albany and West Point and the Catskills and all these great places. It's just my recommendation. If you know you want to do it, go ahead and just do it. And hopefully the space is there. So I really encourage to book out as early as possible. We do increase our pricing about every quarter, every 3 or 4 months. Not necessarily the price is going to go down. If you want to do it, you got to do it. The demand is very high. So
The people I've worked with in the past have been doing, I'm going to say 8, 9 months out, and they have the cabin choice seems to be like one or two and maybe one or two in each category. In some categories, there's none.
yeah, I think we're close to 70% sold out for this year. So it's and next year too, people just, again, a lot of people, they get on, they find they love it, and they'll book a couple more cruises on board. So we have a really extremely high repeat factor.
So there's two questions. One's related to this that we're talking about, so we'll go there first. How far out can you book? So do you have 20, you have 26 open probably now. Do you have
Yeah,
27 as well?
we have, I believe, all of 27 open too. Yeah,
Okay.
we put it out there very far. And we continue to bring out new itineraries too. We've got some new ones that I didn't have slides on, but we're bringing out new itineraries all the time because we've got more ships and areas that we can go now with these ships. We just had hundreds of waterways in the United States, but there wasn't, the right proper ships built to operate on them. That's what we're doing. We're finally showcasing all the beautifulness of America.
What is the shortest number of nights and what is the longest number of nights?
Okay, so I'll start with the longest. We do the Great United States, which is 60 nights.
60?
Yeah,
Wow.
that combines 4 cruises and the national parks. And then we do the Civil War battlefields, which I think is like it's a 40 some night itinerary
Wow.
that we do. Yeah. And then the next would be the Complete Mississippi, which is 21 nights. The shortest itinerary I think that we have is a 6-night itinerary. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to get off there too soon. It's
60 nights.
the time. Yeah, the 60 nights we did it last year. This is our second year doing it. And like I said, we combined 4 cruises with the national parks. So, yeah.
Crazy. Okay, any other questions from those on the Zoom here? I know there's a lot of interest because we're getting some of the questions that we've gotten, some of the people I've talked to ahead of time. I'm very excited about it. Like I said, I wanted to get this presentation done because I believe in the product and I think that it's a great thing that people don't know about. So I want to make sure that people learn about it and they can get on these itineraries. Like Cindy said, we need 9 months or something to get
Yeah.
into some of these boats.
We do advertise on TV. I've seen some of our commercials. So we try to get the word out there, but it's still very much a hidden secret that this is offered here in the United States. And of course, it's like, why not? Because we're going all around the world to see other people's history and cruise. And we've got this right here on our waterways. So it's more than just the Mississippi and the Columbian snake. There's a lot more out there.
I will follow up with the folks that joined and just I'll send an email and you may hear from me relatively soon because there is the offer out there. There is, in the meantime, if you'd like to go and look at some of the different itineraries, Cindy, what's the name of the website?
It's just americancruiselines.com.
Feel free to poke around there if you want, and then let me know what if you'd like to book a cruise or if you have more questions. A lot of times, what happens is people start looking at itineraries and get into things, and then they have a whole bunch more questions. So if that happens, let me know.
Yeah. And come back to Ryan and make sure you take advantage of the show special or whatever offer is out there. He can help take care of you from start to finish and make sure you have everything you need and prepared to go.
And I know we quickly talked about the airfare. In some cases, that like what you said, the Colombian snake, because you're going different airports, and the one port at the end.
You fly into Lewiston, Idaho, which is just across the bridge from Clarkston. So it is more limited air service, but we still accommodate very nicely with our air program. We're flexible if you want a specific airline or route. We're going to try and put you in the best that we can because we don't want you making multiple connections and all that kind of stuff. So we're pretty generous with that, with the schedules. You can tell us what you're looking for and we'll do that.
Thank you so much, Cindy. I think we'll call it there. I really
Okay.
appreciate you being here. Yeah. And thank
Well,
you
my
everybody for
pleasure,
joining.
and thanks for thinking of us for your Zoom meeting tonight. And we'd love to see you all come and join us on one of our ships.
Absolutely. Thanks everybody so much for joining, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Good night.